Hello, my divine kings and queens. I am back to do another video. And today's message, today's word, today's motivational, inspirational message for today is God will never leave you, nor will he forsake you. God will never set you up, to be overran, to be dethroned by that of your enemies, by that of your ops, by that of any resistance, or restrictions or limitations that people have placed upon your life. For whatever the reason, a lot of people felt like, as it pertains to you, that they could not live or coexist in a world where you are moving freely, living freely, making a sustainable means of income for yourself, moving forward towards your goals, your aspirations, and your dreams. There's a lot of things that happen to you that most people would not have been able to overcome or endure the way that you did. You endured a lot of betrayals, a lot of envy, a lot of jealousy, being ostracized and criticized and labeled the black sheep, a lot of demeaning and derogatory names that people had for you, whore, slut, you know what I'm saying, liar, fornicator, problem, drama starter, an unclean spirit, a foul person, a weird person, a crazy person, a person that you don't want to be tied up with. A lot of people took your kindness for weakness. So that's why it's hard for people to understand. It's even hard for people to grasp how throughout your life, these people took the positions and titles that they had, and they deceived you. They deceived you because in order to get within a mile radius to betray you, people had to hide their true colors, ill will and hidden motives that they had for you. So you had family members, you had exes, you had even fake friends that were placed around you. And these people were placed around you. When they got around you, they knew that you were somebody who was kind-hearted and gentle. But they also thought that with that being said and taking that into consideration, that you was somebody to toy with, that you was somebody to play with, you was somebody to use, manipulate, derail, dethrone in some type of shape, way, form, or fashion. You were being persecuted because of people who wanted to be you. You were being ostracized and criticized because of people who wanted to be better than you, who looked down on you, who never thought that you would rise to the occasion and the levels that you did. So when you did, these were people who wanted to strip that of you, because these are people who wanted to categorize you, and categorizing you, this is how people were able to get away with defamation of character. This is how people was able to get away with toiling and soiling your life and the people in it. But because the devil closed one door, he couldn't prevent another door from opening. Even if he was able to close that door, he couldn't prevent another from opening. So what these enemies and devils are seeing is you are somebody who is resilient, is persistent. You're not gonna go down without a fight, and either you gonna get tired or they gonna get tired. You ain't got tired yet. And I'm talking about, they took their best shot at you. They sent the most handsome, finest specimen and devil that they could to continuously disrupt the divine order of your life. These are people who wanted theirs to be placed above yours, and whatever that means. You know what I'm saying? These are people who wanted your life. These are people who wanted to swap destinies with you. These are people who had to have you at the bottom of the totem pole in order, I guess, to feel good about themselves. These are people who I keep telling you cannot coexist. They don't want to coexist in a world where you are living in it. Because they want to do what you do. They want to be better than you. They talked a lot of mess on your name. So to have you out here doing things, and even in them soiling your life, they have not been able to completely destroy you, defeat you, or overcome you. So there are people who know about your achievements. You were willing, so God was able. These people tried to come in behind the work that you had done, the seeds that you had planted, the seeds of righteousness, of faithfulness, of dutifulness, of obedience. You understand what I'm saying? Of hard work, of perseverance. And these are people who wanted to come on your land, disrupt and foul and poison your soil, your weeds, your plants. You understand what I'm saying? If you had already done the work in planting the seed, you had already answered the call. You had already done the work. So they wanted to come behind you and disrupt that and foul that and taint that. These are people who don't understand how people like you, how you have a hold on people the way that you do. So in order for them to think that, this is what I'm saying, I'm saying it today, some people gonna be mad at me. In order for people to not to be so confused as to how you did what you did, how you reached what you reached. Before you did it, nobody was concerned about you. Nobody was trying to compete with you. The competition started when you rose to the occasion and you set the bar. Oh no, they couldn't just sit back and let you keep breaking records like that. Whether it was in your community, in your family, in a group, in a setting, in an environment that you used to be in, you were somebody that people are intimidated by. So they try to disrupt you fulfilling your full potential and stepping into your full power and becoming who you're meant to be. These witches and these warlocks in your family, these are people who never stuck up for you. These are people who tried to defeat and overcome, and for some, got rid of the people who did stick up for you. These are people who would come against these people and say that something is wrong with them anytime you had somebody who was willing to be your friend, who had somebody who was willing to open up their mouth and stick up for you. These people were at that point being ostracized and kicked and casted away. You had some people who didn't want to feel that. So they were down with the cause. They was down with the program and not being your friend and disrupting your environment and your living situations and stalking you. These are people who know that at the end of the day, if they loosen up their grip on you, which it's going to happen by willingly or by force, everybody finna get incarcerated. Everybody finna be implicated, because these people are people who targeted you illegally. These are people who use their credentials. These are people who use their jobs. These are people who use the money to either bribe people or disrupt your divine flow of life. And in order to do that, so people don't have to take accountability for the oppressor that they were, the accuser, the predator that they were in your life, these are people who have to throw you under the bus. And they have to try to defeat you, not try. They have to disrupt and destroy your name completely, so that when you do come out and speak your truth, because they know the type of person that you are, they are trying to make you unbelievable. But there are people who can look at you, look at them. There are people who can listen to you and listen to them, even if these people never spent 5 years around you. These are people who know they people, baby. People know they family. They know how they've done this before and got a track record of it. So when you have somebody who is willing to step away from that and walk away from that, and you didn't cause no disruptions, you didn't cause no upsets in these people's lives, and they know that you were done wrong. They know you were done wrong. People know you ain't never been liked. People know you ain't never had it easy. These people who know are people who don't like you. People who went up against you. People who projected upon your life. But again, when the devil closed these doors, he expected you to take 1 or 2 or 3 of the options that he left open, purposely and intentionally left open for you, which was the doors of defeat, of destruction, and of death. And just because those were the doors and options that was left open to you, that don't mean that you lost your faith. And just because the doors that were meant to be open that were closed to you, okay, which left you with little to no options, that don't mean that you gave up on God, you gave up on your calling, you gave up on your life. That don't mean that, you know what I'm saying, you gave in to the devil. And the devil's upset, baby. You got to understand something. God is going to do for your life what he did for Esther, what he did for Joseph, what he did for Daniel. And you got to understand something. Both God and the devil know their jurisdictions. If one or the other is able to cross into another one's jurisdiction to do either thing to disrupt their flow or to cause damnation or destruction to people that's part of their army, you understand what I'm saying? There was some kind of agreement or knowing involved. So you have to understand something. Hear me what I'm saying. I'm not saying that God made happen what happened in your life. What I'm saying is certain things are allowed, okay, that are part of your journey, that is part of your life's work and mission, to show people that no matter what is done against you, no matter what actions the devil and anyone that's tied to him, anyone that's able to be used by him, right? And you have to understand something. Demonic possession is real. People who instantly jump, that's normal, and you laying next to these people and they just jumping erratically and all crazy like that. These are people who are fighting against whatever is trying to overcome them and possess them. If they are able to be possessed, these are people who are being used to joke you, to mock you, to betray you, to be envious and jealous of you, and to go up against you and attack you, either spiritually, emotionally, or physically. Okay? These people were being used. And anytime that you have something like that, that means that your calling And the blessings that God have for you is on a whole nother level that's astronomical, okay, supernatural. You understand what I'm saying? There's something that's tied for you, baby, which is why you've been attacked and targeted. You have a target on your back. My mama used to say a long time ago, the devil is on your back, okay? Because you disrupt his flow. You disrupt the message that he wants people to receive in this world, which is God doesn't exist. Hope and faith is for idiots. It's for the weak. And whatever these people tried to do, you gotta understand something. When the devil thought that he was going to throw everything at Job and get Job to denounce the name and the power and the will of God, he said, I'm going to throw everything. I'm going to take everything that I can. The devil tries to overwhelm you, to get you to lose all hope, okay, and faithfulness of who you are, where you're meant to be going, and what you're meant to have in this 3D world. Because he feels like he owns it and the people in it, he can get anybody to go up against you and to fight you on every end, to get you to lose on every end, to get you to be defeated on every end, to leave you with nothing, in hopes of, if you have no sustainable means of taking care of yourself, you have nothing to show for it, you can't make this happen, you can't will your life, and you feel binded, you feel restricted, your hands is tied behind your back, because people know if you're able to move freely and they have to coexist with you, you finna make it happen. You finna set and break records. These are people intimidated by you. Where there's intimidation, baby, there's a certain level and splash of insecurity. Where there's insecurity of people who do not know themselves, and it's been said before, you had people who around about the way said things to you. Like, they appreciate you for who you are and being a trailblazer, and not just doing something to compete or be better than somebody else. So people know why other people are taking certain stabs at you, are following behind you, whether they want to give credit where credit is due or not. Some people ain't gonna never give you credit. They just gonna stump on you when they see that you are able to do something, and something is meant for you, and thinking about stumping you and bullying you, right, and trying to kill you where you are no longer around to answer the call, that they can answer what was meant for you. We are on two different paths. Even if you prevent me from answering my call, it does not mean that the assignment or the mission is going to go to you. You only want to answer it for the wrong reasons. And God knows this. If he's giving it to you, clearly you're doing what you're meant to do. You're doing what you have to do, because you know what you stand for. You know who you are. They say the opposite about you. But just because people denounce you and people give up on you and people want other people to give up on you, does not mean that God is going to follow suit. And this is what these people know. You're supposed to be dead. You're supposed to be out your mind. You're not supposed to have no hope left. These people thought that defeat was going to ensure that you would not be able to get up. That death was going to prevent you from answering your calling, and they wouldn't have to see you be who you were called to be, because you'd be dead. They thought destruction was going to overcome you. The darkness was going to make you turn into somebody that you are not. You're not going to turn into somebody that you're not. These people can't force your hand. They can't force your will. You are who you say you are. You are who you are. If these people cannot accept it, then they should stop looking into your life. They should stop looking back at you. But these are people, I keep telling you, dealing with lunatics. You're dealing with people who don't understand. These are people who slept with people that you slept with, went behind your back to do things against you so that your work, your blessings would be prohibited, would be limited, restricted, and blocked off from you. These are people who wanted it to come to them. You had several attempts on your life, several attempts on your destiny. God is tired, God is through, and enough is enough. You got certain people who, I keep telling you, can smell the stink of death around them, around innocent people that's tied to them because of what they initiated and projected onto your life. People know that there were people who were in your family from your past that wanted you defeated, that wanted you dead, that wanted you stripped, barren. What they want for you can't happen towards you. And the reason why you are not dead is because God won't allow that to happen. God won't allow to happen what these people want to happen to you. This is why they have not been able to successfully kill you, sacrifice you, damn you. The tides are changing. There's a shift that's occurring, and the odds are going to be forever in your favor. And you know what? I'm here for it. I commend you for making it to this point in your life. People realize that they thought by now, whatever happened to you, you wouldn't want to keep going on. They knew they couldn't strip. So whatever is meant for you, it's going to happen. These people couldn't get you to kill yourself. They couldn't get you to walk away. They couldn't get you to denounce God. That would prevent that. It's like they was trying to get you to self-sabotage. If you killed yourself, you wouldn't be able to receive it. If you denounced God and gave up on God, how could he give you something if you telling him you no longer believe in him? You no longer want to answer the call and you're walking away from your path. These are people who want to bully you out your purpose, out your calling. These are people who are trying to assume the position by copying you, doing what you have done. These are people who are trying to sabotage and sacrifice what you have created and what you've built for yourself. They want everyone to look at you a certain way. They want people to laugh at you. They want you to be the laughing stock of your community. A prophet is never fully received from his hometown. And I don't care where you've been, okay, and where you are. God knows where you're going, and he knows how he plans on getting you there. There are people who are not going to understand it because you don't come packaged up a certain type of way. These are people who are realizing whether they believe in God or they don't believe in God, that, baby, you cannot put your finger on who God gives the anointing to. You cannot tell God and try to restrict God from blessing or appointing or anointing or turning a nobody into a somebody, because he would do it without asking anybody. Do you understand what I'm saying? God knows where you've been before he decided to give you this call, before he decided to sit up here and give you this anointing and give you these gifts and give you this sovereign strength. God knew where you were, what you had done, alleys that you was in, things that you had done, demeaning and derogatory things that came about your mouth, people who you had tied yourself to. He knows every mistake that you've ever made. He knows every wrongdoing that you ever did, every crime you ever committed. And still yet in all, he can say to this day that you are worthy. That's all what you need. That's all what you need to know, is that you are worthy. I don't care how unworthy people try to make you feel. You are worthy. And I want you to know that. And I want you to receive that. I want you to understand that. And I want you to carry that with you to the day that you die. People will not attack what is weak, what is frail. They will not attack what is not meant to be anything in their life, that does not bear or carry fruit that they want. They saw you do the work, and they wanted to eat your ripe fruit without putting in the work. And then when you didn't want to share, they wanted to sit up here and poison your whole foundation. Everybody knows the truth about these people from your community, about your family, about your exes, about your ex-friends. Do you understand what I'm saying? Everybody knows the hand that they had. Everybody knows how they sat up here and judged you and came around you through the most trying times in your life. And they wanted to judge your hygiene. They wanted to judge your finances. They wanted to judge your resources. They wanted to judge your mind. I don't understand who they think you are, but everybody has their breaking point. And at some point, whatever it is that these people keep trying to poke and poke and poke, because they think that you don't have a breaking point. They think that enough is never enough for you. They think that they can bully you. They think that they can try you. They think that they can trump you. But let me tell you something. Every bully has his day. You got certain people that get around you and think that you're somebody to play with until they realize and they try you. And then it's like people have to try you and attack you in order to realize that you are who you say you are. There are some people who've seen it. And because nothing happened to them over the years, when these people start attacking you in middle school and high school to try to disrupt the flow and course of your life, they still had their life. And they thought that that was something to say that, oh, God doesn't exist. Baby, let me tell you something, why my chosen ones are not afraid of death. You know where you are going. And even though it's been said that nobody truly understands or knows where they're going, you've seen the protection around you. Little orbs that's been surrounded around you, around your life at certain given points in time of your life. God would not protect someone who is not worthy. He would not protect someone and keep someone who doesn't want to be kept. He would not protect someone who is not being attacked on every end, and God can see it in the spiritual. These people cannot hide from you, and they cannot hide from God. Just because you choose to be kind, when you come around, you give people an opportunity to say their goodbyes. You come around and you choose to be cordial. It doesn't mean that you are forgetting or you forgot what these people have done. It doesn't mean that you have forgotten what these people done against you, what they said about you, what they pushed down, faces that they made, how they said things to get other people. Look, every time you come around, it was a face being made. People laughing. Whether you were there, whether you walked away, whatever it was. They don't like you, but they ain't going to tell you to your face. They just going to keep having you come around their house and talk to them and stuff like that so they can gather information or either siphon your energy. When you made these cuts with these people, broke the ties and the bonds with these people, you understand what I'm saying? This is when these people decided that they were going to keep coming up against you to defeat you. They was like, watch what I do. Watch what I do. Watch what I take away. Let's see what they do. But they saw you standing tall. You know what I'm saying? These are people who wanted you to be embarrassed and wanted you to be humiliated. And now whoever these people have been that's come up against you, because the truth is out, there's no honor amongst thieves. They did it amongst one another. Everybody knows. So, like I said, you sit back and you watch how this play out. But at the end of the day, you know where you're going, and that's why you're not afraid of death. Like I said, it could be pointed right here. These people won't get you to denounce God. They won't get you to beg for your life. You know where you're going. You know where you've been. You know where you are. You're not afraid. That's the worst kind of person that you can mess with, somebody who's not afraid. Because if you're not afraid, or you're not going to be downtrodden by being broke, what else can they do? If you're not going to be afraid and beg for your life and beg these people to stop after every attack that they sent, after every person that they got to be around you, how they paid people to trigger you. They paid people to trigger you. They paid people to stalk you. They paid people to block you off. They paid people to disrupt your living quarters, your working environments. You get what I'm saying? In every situation, you found a way to separate yourself from the pack. You found a way to move forward in your life, and you found a way to hold your head up high. These people don't know what the hell to do at this point. You're not afraid of death. So either they're going to stop doing what they're doing, or God going to force them to stop. Because like I said, they think they're going to wear you out. They think they're going to get you. At this point, after everything you lost and who you lost, the only way that you get taken out, because it's not going to be by your own hand and doing, is if these people do it. So they need to stop playing around and beating around the bush and do it. But I keep telling you, people have tried their best shot. They projected car accidents onto you. Some of y'all had issues with situations with your cars. You know what I'm saying? The engine malfunctioning, the brakes giving out. You know what I'm saying? The car cutting out from you in the middle of the highway or the freeway. You understand what I'm saying? These people know what they've done, and they know what they projected onto your life. You get what I'm saying? And these are people who thought that was what was going to take you out. If they mess with you so you have heart complications, your heart would give out on you. These people had any kind of voodoo dolls, anything that they buried in the ground, any type of family practitioner these people been paying, couples that they sent in, and this is what these people's job was, which is why they never gave up. They was paid to spiritually attack you and surround you with spiritual warfare. And I'm telling you, your next step is to start listing names. You know who these people are. You've seen them in the spirit. B, T, S, C, F, K, J, L are significant. A, if I didn't say it before, M is significant. They can keep playing around with you. They can keep playing around with you. D is significant. They can keep playing around with you. But like I said, it ain't gonna be about too many times that these people gonna keep messing with your life, because they can't seem to fathom or understand how you are who you are. So if they can't fathom that means these people think of you as being ugly, stank, dirty, decrepit. And this is the thing, in every cycle, in every phase where you should have been that and you should have looked like that. I don't care what happened to you. These people had to watch you be a timeless beauty. You know what I'm saying? Like fine wine, you age gracefully and purposefully throughout time. They don't understand you. They think that you're a freak of nature, and it's not scared of like your ability and what you could do to them. These people are scared of what surrounds you and what protects you, because any average Joe would have been overran and overcome and dethroned by the spiritual warfare that was projected at you. Your life went the way that it did, not because of you and by your own hand. It went the way it did by people who felt like they couldn't coexist with your gratefulness, your power, your glory, and your victory. They couldn't stand where they was at and just mind the business that paid them and mind and nurse their fruit drink and their business. They couldn't do that. Not without you. Not with you live out here living and looking good and glowing up and having what you need to have and being who you called to be and marrying and having a divine love and a divine partnership and union. Just someone to court you right and correct. These people have so much envy and jealousy in them, man. If it's your family, if these are exes that just cannot get the picture to leave you alone, they didn't want to do you right, but they don't want you to move forward. These family members are looking at over the years how they bullied you, how they talk bad about you, how they didn't even want to be connected to you. They never went around telling certain people till a certain time back when you was going through what you was going through. Nobody wanted to be associated with you. Nobody was trying hard to make sure that people knew who you were and how you was tied to them because of how you went out there and made yourself to look. But what I'm saying is, they never thought, a lot of people, you know what I'm saying, never thought that you was going to do this. Most people who take certain paths that you've taken and done certain things you've done, they never came out and did a full 180 like you have. But let me tell you something, just like these people have no say so and what doors open up for you and what blessings that you are entitled and orchestrated to receive, these people cannot tell you that because of where you've been and what you've done, that you cannot rededicate and repurpose yourself to be in alignment with God. They cannot tell you that you can't pray to God and you can't talk about God. There's no certain recipe or pedigree into how you come packaged. If you're not received in your hometown, you finna leave. A lot of people, if they're unwilling to see you in the light that is your own, you're not finna deal with ignorance and complete oblivion and delusion. People didn't have to like you. They didn't have to support you. But they also shouldn't mess with your life and the things in it and what was meant for you. And now people finna learn a valuable lesson, baby. Because it's backfire and this judgment finna feel like hell. And it's finna be a gift that keeps on giving. They gonna pray and ask God to forgive them so they can be forgiven. They don't have to go. The people projected a lot onto you. And you about to realize, you about to see they can't handle the heat. They turned the shit up in your kitchen, thinking that it was going to burn and overtake your kitchen. You still right there, and God kept you protected in the midst of the fire, in the midst of the flames. And then when it was all said and done, ashes to ashes, dust to dust, you was like, okay, let me go back and rebuild my kitchen. Let me go back and piece by piece put the oven together, put the kitchen together. These people are fucking scared of you. You supposed to be dead, but you supposed to be out your mind. How the hell do you have hope and faith? Who are you? Somebody that they should never mess with. Till next time, y'all stay prayed up and be blessed.